So we are so honored and privileged to have His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu here with us this evening. After breathtaking harekrishna for the last 3 days on Brahma Vimohan Leela, we have another opportunity to associate with him and ask him our questions. His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki. Prabhu was talking about sadhu varta the other day. As we know in Shastra that the way to associate with a sadhu is by asking questions. We find Arjuna asking questions to Krishna. We find Parikshit Maharaj asking questions to Shukadeva Goswami. We find conversations between Shaunaka Adi Rishi and Suta Goswami. And even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have so many conversations where nectar comes out by asking questions. Bodhayanta parasparam and munaya sadhu prishtoyam. Asking questions and receiving. So today we want to take this opportunity to seek inspiration and guidance and insights from Prabhu. And we want to learn.
I am here for the same reason. I will also ask you some questions. This is a conversation, not a podcast.
So with Prabhu's...
Because he wanted the first 10, let him ask first.
So with this opportunity that we have, we wanted to first ask you, Prabhu, I know you may have answered this question many times, but what was the thing that attracted you to Krishna consciousness? Our Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, right from childhood, has had a wonderful spiritual background. I remember Prabhu told me in his childhood he used to in his childhood, he used to have papers that he used to consider as palm leaves. And he used to make a hole on the end of those papers and put a thread through that hole of those papers, considering that he was writing Ramayana like Valmiki. And he comes from a very cultured background. I know once Gauranga Darshan Prabhu sent me a video when he was in his hometown of his home, his village, his neighborhood, and a beautiful video. Like you can hear Venkateshwara Suprabhatam, Vishnu Sahasranam. There's, I believe, a Nishinga temple, and very nice cultured. Like you can find trees, villages, sattvic environment. So coming from that background and switching into Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, what was that attractive point?
As I said a few times before, it was my fortune that I got a hostel room in my college, Indian Institute of Science, where probably one ISKCON devotee was staying. I never knew who he was. So when I went to the hostel, they gave me the hostel room keys. And when I opened my hostel room, I found a very big picture of Murali Krishna, which you showed in one of your slides in Rasa Cintamani. So that picture attracted me, Murali Krishna. I think it's a painting, BBT painting by Parikshit Prabhu. So...
Is it the same on the front cover of Mukundamala Stotra?
No.
Okay,
no. Where full Krishna is seen. This is small Krishna with a parrot, with two parrots.
Next to the window?
Window, correct. So with some roses. So I was attracted spontaneously to that picture. I have seen so many pictures of Krishna, but this is really special. So I asked the cleaning guy, please don't remove this. And I went and finished my admission formalities. By the time I came back, the picture was not there. To cut the long story short, searching for that picture, I went for the first time in my life to ISKCON temple. Childish attraction. Anyways, so when I went, I found the same picture of same size, big size, in the bookstore, and I asked him, give me this. He said 20 rupees. Then he's a very smart ISKCON book distributor. He said, if you take this book, this picture is for free. So the 20 rupees, book is 90 rupees. When I opened the book, there are so many more pictures. So that was Krishna book, Prabhupada's Krishna book. So I took Krishna book with so many such paintings and this big painting also, and I kept in my room. That's how this Murali Krishna's picture and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10th canto first came into my life. That's my first connection with ISKCON. So seeing that picture and book in my hostel room, one of my friends, classmates, he asked me, "Are you an ISKCON devotee?" I said, "What does that mean?" There are some ISKCON devotees, they chant Hare Krishna, they discuss Bhagavatam, they do Mangalarti in your own hostel block in the ground floor. We are in the 3rd floor. If you want, I can introduce you to them. So he said this on 10th November 2005. And I saw the picture on 1st August 2005, after 100 days. The 11th November 2005, probably it was Kartik time, I didn't know at that time. He introduced me to some devotees who are my seniors. They are in 2nd year masters, I was in 1st year masters. So that's how I came in touch with devotees. So eventually, somewhere in 2006, I started chanting Hare Krishna 16 rounds, somewhere in mid 2016. By 2007, I became little serious in chanting, regular in chanting. Then 2008, I'm in VTA, Radha Gopinath Temple. 2009, I'm in Brahmacharya Ashram.
Vaishnava, what is VTA?
Vaishnava Training Academy. Then 2009, I joined ashram. That's my short story. I don't want to bore them by speaking this too elaborately.
So this is so amazing, Prabhuji. So attraction to Krishna was pretty spontaneous through the picture. And then now how does that translate into study of Bhagavatam? Because how many of us have Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Because if you don't, we can... Right? Prabhu, those devotees are raising hands, they want to sponsor for Bhagavatam. So we all have Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we all want to read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We even make sankalpas that, okay, I'm going to start reading Bhagavatam. But we can't do that on a consistent basis. We find that somehow. And when we hear Prabhu quote shlokas, sing those shlokas, and present it so systematically, we all want to know how to do that, right? So if you can give us some insight on studying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, falling in love with Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and making Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam our life and soul.
It's a very big thing. I have not made Bhagavatam as my life and soul yet, but I want to one day. Madeka bandho mat sangin mad guru man mahadhana man nistaraka mad bhagya madananda namostute. I really want to embrace this shloka in my life completely, which I have not yet done. But it was in 2010, 2009 only, when I was in BT, we were doing Bhakti Shastri in Radha Gopinath Temple, Chowpatty. BT means Brahmachari Training Program. So we completed our Bhakti Shastri by around 2010 beginning, by end of 2009 only. So one of my seniors, who was my senior in my college also, Śrīla Prabhupāda, so he asked me, Bhakti Shastri is over, so what's the next book you are studying? I said, I will read Bhagavad Gita again. Because many Bhakti Shastri classes also did not happen very systematically, and a lot of it is given for self-study, and I was not very happy with the Bhakti Shastri studies. I went through once, but I was not very satisfied. So I thought of reading Bhagavad Gita once again. But Prabhu said, we were traveling to Delhi at that time, in the train, Prabhu said, if you are postponing your study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, you are postponing your spiritual advancement. I don't know what inspired him to say that. By the time he already began studying first canto. Then I said, okay, fine, let me do it. So 2010, February 28th, Gaura Purnima Day, I began my study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam sitting in the Sharanagati library in Radha Gopinath Temple. That was Gaura Purnima. When I opened Bhagavatam for the first time, the introduction is the biography of Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu. Prabhupada gives the full biography of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. I went through all that on Gaura Purnima Day. Mahaprabhu's blessings. Then I started Janmadhyasya. Then after I started, somehow Bhagavatam, the way it is written...
Prabhu, can the mic reverberation be fixed, if possible? Yeah.
After I began studying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the way Sukadeva Goswami narrated it, or Vyasadeva wrote it, and especially Śrīla Prabhupāda gave purports to it, I couldn't put the book down. And when I came to the 4th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There's a beautiful shloka in the Prithu Maharaj episode. Vina harer guna piyusha panat. Such a beautiful line. Means when we don't drink the nectar of Lord Krishna's qualities as described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam even one day, we should feel that something is missing today. Vina harer guna piyusha panat. We should become restless. We should feel we are lost without tasting the nectarian qualities of Krishna even one day. So somehow these lines and many Prabhupada's purports, many sweet shlokas of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that inspired me. I can't say, like I didn't plan to systematically study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, although I began my study, but the way Bhāgavatam is presented has attracted me. So it's there. Bhāgavatam book itself is so attractive, therefore I became so hooked to it. That's all I can say. I don't claim to have so much taste, but whatever little taste I have in Bhāgavatam is because of the way Bhāgavatam has been presented. It has its attractive potency.
Prabhu, we also have the same Bhagavatam at home. We have those same verses, the same katha, the same book. What can we do to feel what you're feeling?
I am aspiring to have similar feelings towards Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam the way Amarendra Prabhu has. But I am unable to come to that level. I may read some shlokas and get some overview, and purport is written 10 pages, I put it into 2 pages or 1 page. But Prabhu, he'll take one line, one phrase, one word, sometimes one syllable, and expand it into 10 pages in his katha. So I want to relish Bhagavatam like you. So now if you share your secret, I'll learn something, Prabhu.
Well, actually, Shastra says that true eloquence is essential truth spoke concisely. Right? Truths
Sometimes
are all...
it could be laziness also. Because you are too impatient to go through so many details, so you condense it and get the gist of it like a zip file. But those are really relishers. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavakaha. They go into every akshara, every shabda, every pada, padartha. So the way you are doing, so I am really inspired by your presentation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Now you should share your secrets of your attraction towards Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I still remember once in our discussion, you showed Mukundamala Stotra cover page, and you said, this is my primary attraction towards Krishna because I saw this beautiful Krishna Tribhanga form. Oftentimes in his classes he makes that, right? Krishna does. I can't make that posture. Last 3 days we have been seeing this posture. But several times I have seen him in this posture also. So that's how Krishna has entered.
Prabhu.
That's how Krishna has entered so much in his system that he imitates his Tribhanga feature also. So now you can share your attraction towards Krishna's form and Krishna's Rupa Guna Leela as described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
Actually, to be honest, Prabhuji, there was one book that my aunt had gifted my grandfather. It was an old copy of Mukundamala Stotra in 1997. And my father's oldest sister, who joined Krishna consciousness, was it 84? 84, yeah. So she gifted my paternal grandfather a copy of Mukundamala Stotra in 1997. And it said, to our dear father, and the date 97. So that book, out of many books, was there at home. And when I used to come from school, I remember I used to remove that book because in the front cover, it had that beautiful form of Krishna that you see on the front cover of Mukundamala Stotra. I tried opening the book and I didn't understand those verses. But there was one verse which really attracted my heart at that time from the Mukundamala Stotra. And I memorized that shlok. Tattvam prasida bhagavan kurumayyanathe. I loved that shlok. And somehow then it was my desire to study that book. And eventually I think Mukundamala Stotra got me to Bhagavatam. So even now I have a lot of reverential attraction to Kulashekara Alvar's writings. Yeah, so that was just a small.
Amazing. What about Bhagavatam? You can please share your experiences of studying Bhagavatam, which is your favorite canto, favorite episode. We understand it's 10th canto, but still, you can share something more what you like in Bhagavatam.
To be honest, my attraction to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam came through the lips of my Guru Maharaj. My Guru Maharaj, Śrīla Radha Govinda Maharaj, lived all his life sharing, studying, speaking, teaching Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. My Guru Maharaj, in his childhood, he was in his school and he received a magazine which many of the Hindi speakers may know from India. It's called the Kalyan Patrika of Bhaiji Shri Hanuman Prasad Poddar from Gita Press, Gita Vatika. So my Guru Maharaj received that magazine. It was in Hindi. And it had one article which touched his heart. It was the article of Vasudeva Maharaj carrying Krishna across the Jamuna. And as my Guru Maharaj was playing in the school courtyard, this magazine was supposed to be given to the principal. And the postman said the office of the principal is closed, gave it to the boy and said, can you give it to the principal tomorrow? Because he was an avid reader of the Kalyan Patrika. So my Guru Maharaj, he started reading that article, and there it said that the aim of our life is to become like Vasudeva. If Vasudeva Maharaj can carry Krishna, and all the shackles of his life can break, all the doors can open, and he can receive so much protection. If we can carry Krishna Naam on our tongues, and Krishna's lotus feet on our head, and become Krishna Vahe Vasudeva, if we can become carriers of Krishna like Vasudeva, then the iron shackles of karma will be broken, the doors of liberation will be open, and Guru Ananta Shesh is always blessing one crossing the cycle of birth and death. So this inspired my Guru Maharaj to come to Bhagavatam, because he wanted to know where this section is found in the gamut of Vedic literature. So after coming to Śrīla Prabhupāda, Śrīla Prabhupāda instructed my Guru Maharaj to study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and distribute Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as katha. So when I started hearing his presentation, I was really blown away, because I heard a collection of beautiful fragrant flowers put together in the bouquet of one class. I saw there were verses, I saw there were stories, I saw there were interpretations, there was tattva, at the same time there were commentaries, and it was just so well packed and so juicy with the Leela Katha. I started hearing one after another, and then it inspired me to find the sadhu. Where is he? Who is he? Who can speak so wonderfully, so eloquently? So I think for me, the pages came later, the katha came first. So it is my Guru Maharaj's mercy that one Bhagavat got me to another.
Amazing. So you got the mercy of both book Bhagavatam and person Bhagavatam. Nashta prayeshu abhaddareshu nityam Bhagavata sevaya. When we come in touch with...
Could I, if it's okay, could I...
Whatever you say.
If I could take the opportunity to ask you a question, if that's okay.
Karishye vachanam tava.
We hear so much. We read so much. We attend Rasa Cintamani. We attend different festivals. What is your practical guidelines for us so that we can implement what we are hearing? Because all of us, we may agree that we attend classes, we even take notes, we ask questions, and we remember even acronyms and points. But how do we actually apply it when life pinches us?
We need to prioritize. Not just accumulation of information, not just accumulation of knowledge, but prioritizing assimilation of that knowledge. Prioritizing absorption of that knowledge. It takes time, definitely. Everything that we hear, you may not be able to immediately apply it or absorb it or realize it, but that should be in our priority list. I should not be just going on reading too many books or hearing so many classes and taking so much notes and making acronyms and use AI to summarize so many videos and get more information, more exciting information. It's good. You can learn, no problem. But at least, what is my favorite takeaway? What can I implement in my life? What out of what I have heard, maybe I may hear 10 points or 20 points in a class, I may read 10 or 20 pages in a book, but which of these points are immediately relevant and practically implementable in my current stage of spiritual life? So we need to see that. All of us are going through some problems, some difficulties, some crisis. It could be health crisis, it could be financial problems, it could be some relationship issues, it could be some sparks that we had or friction that we had in our interactions with other devotees. So we need to be a little observant and vigilant. So we need to observe what is happening from morning to evening in my life and how can I connect all these events in my life to what I have learned from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, what I have heard from Bhagavatam classes. So we need to make a connection between our personal life and what's happening in the life of pure devotees whose stories are described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. What we are going through, these great devotees I already went through. Kunti Maharani went through so many difficulties. Pandavas went through so many difficulties. Aho kashtam, aho anyayam. They come right in the first canto of Bhagavatam. Even Vyasadeva also a little confused initially. Right? With a good intention, he wrote so many books for the welfare of the humanity, but he was not satisfied. Then Narada Muni came and told him, you have not sufficiently emphasized the importance of Bhakti Yoga in your writings. You overemphasized Dharmartha Kama Moksha. The first initial lesson of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also reveals that if you don't prioritize Bhakti, if you prioritize Dharmartha Kama Moksha more than Bhakti, there will be only dissatisfaction. Right? So we also undergo so many difficulties, so many confusions. Arjuna went through a big confusion right in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna cleared that confusion. Right? So whether it is confusions or difficulties or health crises or anarthas attacking us, lust, envy, pride, greed, the personalities whose stories are described in Bhagavatam, they went through all of them, all these experiences. Now our responsibility is to connect our day-to-day life experiences to the experiences of these great souls. How did they respond to such situation in life? Whether it is a positive situation or a negative situation, how did these great souls respond to it? Let me try to respond in a certain way. Purura was distracted because of lust. Yayati was distracted because of lust. Daksha, because of pride and anger, he offended somebody. So these are constantly overwhelming us on a daily basis. So what can I learn from the behavior of Daksha? What can I learn from the behavior of Shiva? He is very humble and tolerant initially. So just analyze the characters of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and see how the situations they are undergoing are similar to the situations we are undergoing, and try to learn from them what to do and what not to do. And in my personal life journey, I have heard, actually my Bhagavatam study is not complete without hearing a lecture on that particular episode from my spiritual master. So when I read through Daksha episode, Shiva episode, I'll hear a class by His Holiness Radhanaswami Maharaj on that episode. When I read Vritrasur episode in the 6th canto of Bhagavatam, I will search for some lectures on Vritrasur given by my Guru Maharaj and learn from it. So by learning Maharaj's analysis of all these pastimes, by learning what are kind of lessons and character values and virtues and principles that Maharaj is bringing out from the behavior of all these great souls, so I learned a lot of lessons. I have not implemented it, but at least what is an implementable lesson in my personal life, we are aware of it and we try our best. When we fail, okay, next time let's respond to the similar situation in a much better way. Right? In short, answer to your question is that let's try to connect our personal life experiences to the lessons that we are learning from Bhagavatam.
So Prabhu, you're saying first we study our life, and study the life of pure devotees and compare with our lives, and we see how they responded. And second, we also hear from senior Vaishnavas, Gurujanas, on how they churn out lessons from those episodes, and then now we can internalize. But now it comes to another point.
This is the eloquence that you are speaking. Vitam cha saram cha vatohi vagvita. You summarized what I spoke in 5 minutes in one line. Yes, please go ahead.
Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So here comes another question, Prabhu. So, like for example, Rasa Cintamani, Indra's episode, Brahma's episode, we heard pride, false ego, practice of humility, right? Accepting reversals. So these are principles we collected or we assimilated, let's say, at least theoretically. Now, how do we implement it? So we know, okay, I have to be tolerant, I have to be humble, I have to be respectful. Now, how do we actually implement that? Because I think even in the questions that we received, there were a lot of questions on the same theme of practice of humility and overcoming false ego. So if you can share something on that, Prabhu.
Okay. Brahma said in one of his prayers, Jananta eva janantu kimba huktya nabe prabhu manaso vapusho vacho vaibhavam tava gocharam. Many people claim that they understood Krishna philosophy. But as far as I am concerned, with my body, with my mind, with my words, I cannot understand Krishna. Right? So Brahma said this. Now, when you asked me, like, how do we actually practice humility? How do we implement this virtue of humility? How do we cultivate it in our practical lives and day-to-day lives? How do we demonstrate this quality? How do we imbibe this quality? We need to imbibe this quality or cultivate this quality at 3 levels. Manaso, vapusho, vacho, as Brahma said. Manaso, vapusho, vacho. Vapusho, let's begin with vapu, easy. Body. On a physical plane, we can cultivate humility by sincerely and respectfully bowing down to devotees, offering obeisances to devotees. And on physical plane, we can also cultivate humility by doing some menial services. Every service that we take up is not supposed to be, or not necessarily a specialized service in which we have some expertise. It could be cutting vegetables, doing some jhadu pocha, brooming and mopping.
Maharaj Prataprudra.
Prataprudra Maharaj. So, keeping aside our specialization, expertise, experience, let us do some menial service which anybody can do. Jiva Goswami, your favorite author, whose photo we have kept here. So, Jiva Goswami, before authoring 4 lakh original verses, he was cutting palm leaves, processing those palm leaves, and providing them for the writings of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Such a great scholar. He never said, we can hire somebody, right? I am busy with my writing, I will not assist you in writing. He never said like that. Jiva Goswami is such a great scholar, but he did humble menial service that doesn't require a scholar like him to do. So, by doing some menial services that doesn't require any specialization, we become humble. And by offering obeisances to Vaishnavas. That's about Vapu, physically. But as far as words are concerned, as much as possible, let us not try to boast about ourselves. Of course, you state facts. This is what I have done, this is what I have not done. State facts, but instead, we should not try to praise ourselves, overly appreciate ourselves, boast about ourselves, glorify ourselves, and try to keep ourselves in the center of any conversation, or try to bring people's attention towards our own qualities or accomplishments. We need to be a little watchful of our words, right? So that is, physically we practice humility by not bragging about ourselves or boasting about ourselves, and also whenever there is an opportunity, let us openly speak about our shortcomings. Not that you put them in Instagram status, not that you announce these are the anarthas that I am going through to the public, but at least in front of some of your close friends, at least in front of the deities, be honest enough to admit your shortcomings. That's how we can overcome false ego, right? So let's not boast about ourselves. Let's be honest in admitting our shortcomings verbally, whenever possible, whenever needed. Then, these 2 things, like physical practice of humility and verbal practice of humility, are valid or fruitful or meaningful only when we have that internal attitude, consciousness, manasa. within our heart, we should genuinely feel that I'm insignificant, I'm small. And it's not inferiority complex, as you have nicely pointed out in your class. It's not self-pity, it's not inferiority complex. It's not another form of self-absorption or self-infatuation or self-obsession. When we think too much about our own shortcomings, we are not thinking about Krishna. Thinking about one's shortcomings is good. It's an aspect of humility. But when we think only about it, you are not being conscious of Krishna. Actually, humility as defined by my spiritual master is, many definitions Maharaj has given, but one which comes to my mind now is, humility means to think that I was nothing, I am nothing, I will be nothing, and Krishna is everything. Humility is to realize our insignificant position in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Right? Humility is not just being polite, soft-spoken, gentle in our dealings. Yes, that's an aspect of humility, good, but that's not humility. That's not the only understanding of humility. So we need to realize Krishna's position and our own position, and internally think that I am unqualified in so many ways. And whenever people are praising us, immediately transfer that praise to Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas and Parampara within heart, and if possible verbally also. Right? By transferring the credit of the praise that we receive, appreciation we receive, we become humble. We practice that every day. Whenever somebody appreciates you, internally you think, oh, I got this appreciation, I'm happy that these Vaishnavas are pleased with my service. Just be happy and continue your good service. But if you take it to heart and take credit for it, then we are entering into the pride zone. Immediately give the credit of all that appreciation to the Acharyas, to the Vaishnavas. And also pray. Sincerely pray to Krishna. Krishna, I am egoistic, I am proud, I still think I am great. But humility pleases you, not pride. So you please make me humble. You please help me cultivate this virtue of humility, because that pleases you. And as Mahaprabhu told our Vasudeva Brahmana, Vasudeva leper, that Mahaprabhu embraced Vasudeva leper, and Vasudeva felt that, my dear Lord, I received so much of your mercy, so this news that you embraced me and cured my leprosy will go viral, and people will start praising me, and I may become proud. So you please protect me from pride. You know what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said? You chant Hare Krishna continuously and sincerely, pride will not affect you. You will not become a victim of abhiman or pride when you chant Hare Krishna. So to chant Hare Krishna, we need humility. And to cultivate humility, we should chant Hare Krishna. They support each other. So chanting also helps us to cultivate that humility. So like that, every quality has its own ways of cultivation. So, and by the way, humility is the basis for many other Vaishnava qualities. A humble person automatically becomes grateful, satisfied, respectful towards others, tolerant. So these are some thoughts about humility. Now I think it's my turn.
Yes, Prabhu. Just to quickly recapitulate the whole thing. Prabhu said physically we offer obeisances. Verbally,
menial services.
Menial service, yes. We offer obeisances and menial service. And verbally, glorify oneself. Yeah? We don't glorify oneself, not put oneself in the center of conversations, and at the same time, reveal our anarthas and shortcomings, at least in front of the deities, and preferably. And then mentally, transferring credit, understanding our absolute insignificance, praying and chanting more. Right? So these were some points. Very nice.
And also we can meditate on the humble qualities of so many Vaishnavas. I spoke about Vasudeva leper. Madhavendra Puri, Gopinathji personally stole that kheer for Madhavendra Puri. And the first thought that came in the mind of Madhavendra Puri is, he said, oh Lord, he was thinking, this news will go viral. So before this Pratishta comes to me, let me run away from this place. overnight, on that night he just left from Remuna and went to Jagannath Puri. But before he reached Jagannath Puri, his fame already reached. But Madhavendra Puri is so expert that he utilized his fame in the service of the Lord. Because people are already praising him, ready to welcome him, ready to do whatever he wants. He used all that fame or fanfare, quote unquote, in the service of Gopalji. He said, arrange chandan for me. Arrange some camphor for me. So we have seen examples of so many devotees who are so humble at heart, and even if they get praise, they transfer it to the acharyas or utilize that following in the service of Krishna. Hanumanji, he was springing into the air. But before that he said, I am an arrow of Lord Ramachandra. I am just an instrument in the hands of Lord Ramachandra. Yatha Raghava nirmukta sharaha svashana vikramaha gachet tadvad gamishyami lankam ravana palitam. So Valmiki writes that Yatha Raghava nirmukta sharaha svashana vikramaha. Although Hanumanji is so powerful, still he is just an instrument in Lord Ramachandra's hands. Although Arjuna is Savyasachi. Savyasachi is one who releases arrows from both hands. I don't know how to do that. I can't even write with both hands simultaneously with pen, but he can release arrows with both hands. But still, nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Although he is Savyasachi, he is a nimitta matra. You may be expert in your field, but you are an instrument in Krishna's hands. So all these examples are revealing so much humility. So, okay.
So Vasudeva, Arjuna, Hanuman and Madhavendra Puri. 4 examples of how empowered Vaishnavas, they practice humility. I am remembering my Guru Maharaj used to say that Stuti is always a kanya. Stuti means glorification. It's always a kanya, always unmarried. Because whoever wants to marry her, she runs far away from them. And whomever she wants to marry, they run far away from her.
Pratishtha Nari Sada Kumari.
Pratishtha Nari Sada Kumari.
So
quite
Prabhu,
poetic.
I am sure, knowing you, your personality, you are very humble, although you are very talented. Many people know you, they adore you, they respect you, but still you are so down to earth. Many people here or in the world may know him as a speaker, but I have known him sufficiently to some degree as a person. He is so humble. Now I want to hear from you also. How do we cultivate humility? How do we practice humility? You can give some your insights, Prabhu.
I'm reminded how Shastra says that trees which don't have fruits, they stand tall. And trees which are full of fruits, they bend by the weight of those fruits. Namanti phalino vrikshaha, namanti gunino janaha, shushka kashthascha murkhascha na namanti kadachana. That if someone doesn't have fruits, then they stand tall like a tree, not bowing down to anyone. But the more spiritual fruits one develops, automatically by the weight of those fruits, they bow down. Śrīla Goswami, he writes, Prachinanam bhajanam atulam. That Rupa Goswami Pad writes, that when I hear the life of Dhruva Maharaj in the 4th canto of Bhagavatam, Rupa Goswami Pad, he writes, when I hear the life of Dhruva Maharaj in the 4th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, I feel that I haven't even entered the school of bhakti. Why? Because Dhruva Maharaj, to attain Vaikuntha, was ready to give up home, ready to give up food, ready to give up eating, breathing, drinking. He was sustaining on breath. He even gave up that just to remember his mantra, and that to attain Vaikuntha. And Rupa Goswami Pad is writing, and here am I, doing madhukari, drinking water, eating comfortably, living in Vrindavan, thinking that I am going to attain Radha and Krishna. By the bhajan of Dhruva Maharaj, I am convinced I haven't even entered the school. So from that, one thing that we can always learn from Rupa Goswami is materially to always compare with those who are less fortunate, and spiritually to always compare with those who are more empowered. When materially we compare with those who are more opulent, then we will always be dissatisfied, because there's no end. Unlimited desires, limited resources, unlimited dissatisfaction. So when we always compare with those who are less fortunate, always thinking, okay, I didn't get a roti, but there are those children drenched in the rain, somewhere in the slum in the world, under a bridge, with no slippers, on the street, begging for maybe one fruit. And here I am complaining that I didn't get roti, or if I get a roti, I'm complaining I didn't get a paratha. So materially, if we compare with those who are less privileged, then a sense of satisfaction is always there, that Krishna, instead of complaining, I think I'm grateful, because there are those who haven't received what I'm complaining for. What seems to be my need today is opulence for someone somewhere. And spiritually, when we compare with those who are more empowered, then we realize, I am not doing anything compared to this Vaishnava. But when we do the opposite, let's say, then it's quite dangerous. If we always are surrounded by those who are lesser than us in empowered services, then we are the best in the group. And that's not very good. It's not good to be a big fish in a small pond. It's very good always to be a small fish in a big pond. Because we can always see Vaishnavas doing much more and seek inspiration. Like Rupa Goswami is seeking inspiration. So materially, to feel grateful and not dissatisfied by comparing with those who are less privileged, and spiritually, to compare with those who are more empowered in quality and quantity, and to feel, Krishna is using me as an instrument, but I wish I can serve in the mood that this Vaishnava is serving. I really remember and love the point that Prabhu, you mentioned in the class, that we should appreciate Vaishnavas for what they have. And we should always think that this Vaishnava has this quality that I don't have. At least one quality. More than one. At least one quality. This Vaishnava cooks Sunday feast, which I don't. Or this Vaishnava does such wonderful deity worship, which I don't. This Vaishnava cleans up after selflessly, does all the pots, which I don't. Or this in this way. And Prabhu said, when we do that, then Krishna gives that quality that we are appreciating to us. So it's amazing. I'm reminded, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj once said to me, he said, it is because I was feeling so happily overwhelmed, and I was telling Maharaj, there's no limit to how much we can express gratitude to you. And I said, Maharaj, thank you for giving wonderful yatras. Thank you for giving wonderful Vaishnavas, wonderful deities. And I also mentioned Vidyapit program. I said, thank you for giving the eco-village, Vrindavan Bihari and Vidyapit program. And when I was expressing, Maharaj had this very sharp glance that Maharaj has. And I was forgetting the points, but I had made an acronym in my mind that I want to say this to Maharaj. And as I finished, Maharaj looked, he smiled a bit and he said, it is inconceivable and inexplicable how Krishna blesses us. Think about it. It's inconceivable and inexplicable how Krishna blesses us. And then he said, and when we feel it with gratitude and verbalize that appreciation, Krishna gives us more.
Hari. Feel that gratitude and verbalize it, even openly express it, appreciate it, then we feel more, we get more. Thank you so much, Prabhu. You have shared so many points. Apart from, I will quickly go to the very important question that I really wanted to ask you. Apart from prioritizing your Shastric study, preaching Krishna consciousness, and also maintaining your personal Vaishnava qualities, one thing that I have seen you over the years prioritizing is sādhu-saṅga. You give a lot of importance to devotees. You ensure that you stay in touch with them. You care for them. You, as Maharaj said, you also verbally express your gratitude and your appreciation towards the Vaishnavas. and you are little watchful of what's happening in their life, and also give them advice for improvement or suggestion for their good health or overall well-being in Krishna consciousness. And you also look forward to learn from other Vaishnavas a lot. I have seen from multiple Vaishnavas. So now we'd like to hear from you the importance of sadhu-saṅga and why this sadhu-saṅga is so dear to your heart.
We find in Shastra that sadhu-saṅga is the fastest way to attain Krishna. We hear of 64 limbs of bhakti. We hear of Panchanga bhakti. But we can't attain Krishna by our chanting and our study and our scholarship. We can't attain just by the precision of Sanskrit prayers and mudras in worshipping the deity. Sadhu-saṅga, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavata Shravan, Mathura Vasa, Shri Murtira, Shraddhaya Sevan. Of the different limbs of bhakti, Krishna's sensitive weak point are the sadhus. Sadhus are Krishna's strength and weakness, both. They are Krishna's strength. They are Krishna's empowered representatives in this world.
Sadhavo hridayam mahyam.
Yeah. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam. And Krishna could have said, sadhus are my arms or sadhus are my ears. He said, no, sadhus are my heart. They are Krishna's strength and Krishna's weakness also. Because Gauryatha Sutavatsala, where sadhus are there, Krishna is present there. Hari sada vase tatra yatra bhagavata jana gayanti bhakti bhavena. It's not simply chanting. It's not that just chanting going on, Krishna is present. When chanting is done by devotees with affection for Krishna, Krishna is present there. Mother Yashoda is singing Yani Yani ha Gitani tad bala charitani cha dadhi nirmantane kale smaranti tanya gayata. Damodar was ready to give up his sleep and go and embrace her. Embrace Maya Yashoda. Advaita Acharya Prabhu called out, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu appeared. We find Dasharath Maharaj doing a Putrakameshti Yajna calling out, Sri Ramachandra appears. Devaki Vasudeva calling out, Krishna appears. We find Shabari performing bhakti calling out, Sri Ramachandra enters the bhajan kutir. Mad bhakta yatra gayanti. Mad bhaktaha yatra gayanti. Not just gayanti. Tatra tishtami. So we find that Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes Tamudhvaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. Just like associating with a prostitute opens the doors of hell, associating with a sadhu opens the doors of liberation. And this is not only in the sadhak avastha. Krishna bhakti janma mula hoye sadhu-saṅga. Krishna prema janmete ho punar mukhya anga. For sadhakas also sadhu-saṅga, for siddhas also sadhu-saṅga. As you very beautifully were explaining how iti nandadaya gopa, all the gopas headed by Nanda Maharaj, they are also doing guhyam akhyati pruchhati and paraspara anukathanam, discussing about Krishna. So sadhu-saṅga is the heartbeat of bhakti. No doubt about it. Sadhu-saṅga, wherever pure Vaishnavas are, advanced Vaishnavas are, to run there, to serve them, to hear from them. Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, time and again we find so many examples. So that is the inspiration. Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, oh, it's not this one. Okay, sorry. Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, Krishna himself, comes in this world to teach us as bhajan shiksha guru. You can see many times Mahaprabhu has different mudras. Sometimes Gauranga Mahaprabhu is like this. Where Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is relishing Kirtan Rasa. And sometimes you can see Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is like this. Where he is tasting and sharing. And sometimes you can see Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is like this. In some temples in Navadvip or Jagannath Puri, Gaudiya Math, many ancient temples in Navadvip, you can feel Mahaprabhu is like this, sometimes like this, sometimes like this. And the meaning is, Mahaprabhu is our, not just Bhagavan, he is also the Acharya for the Parampara, he is the Guru. So he is instructing. And he is saying, if you follow my instruction, then that Krishna prema which is hidden, I am ready to reveal. So what is Mahaprabhu's instruction? Mahaprabhu, by his own life, apani na kaila dharma shikhai na jaye, ei to siddhanta Gita Bhagavate gaye, apani karimu bhakta bhave angikar, apani karimu bhakti shikhamu shabar, prema rasa niryas korite aswadan, ragmarg bhakti loke korite pracharan, akalanka gaura chandra dilo darshan, sakalanka chandra ar kono prayojan. Mahaprabhu came in this world to teach by personal example how to do bhakti. And how was Mahaprabhu's hunger for sadhu-saṅga? What was Mahaprabhu's utkantha for sadhu-saṅga? In the afternoon, he is running to Gadadhar Pandit. At night, he is with Swarup Damodar Ramananda Rai. Throughout the day, he is with other parshads, parikars, and also spending time with Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Haridas Thakur at Siddha Bakul. And amidst all of this, Mahaprabhu leaves and goes to South India on the banks of Godavari at Kovur, Rajamundry, where he's having, on the pretext of other things, finding his brother and so on and so forth, he's actually going and associating with Ramananda Rai. Mahaprabhu is teaching us, if we have an opportunity to chant more japa, it's wonderful. If we have opportunity to study Bhagavatam, wonderful. But if we have opportunity to associate with devotees, there's nothing higher than this. This is the highest treasure in our life. And I would like to give an example to illustrate this point. A cooking example. No, not a recipe, don't worry. I'm not a... I pakata hu par vyas peeth par, not in the kitchen. I can cook there, but not... We can see, if there's a person, let's say, I'll put myself in the example. You give me 10 ingredients. What do you think I'll cook with those 10 ingredients? Of course, khichdi. Right? And the khichdi that I only can venture to eat. So you give me 10 ingredients, what am I cooking out of it? Khichdi, what I know. But the same 10 ingredients, if you give an expert cook, then what are we eating? We are eating not our expertise, we are eating their expertise. So between studying Shastra and hearing Shastra, when we, both are important, both are irreplaceable. We have to study and we have to hear. But between the two, when we study what we are understanding. But when we hear from a great Vaishnava the same section, we are now tasting not our recipe, we are tasting their expertise, their relish. So it was Prabhu's point only, which I am trying to say, where Prabhu said that he would study and hear the classes of his Guru Maharaj and seek insight. So that is sadhu-saṅga. Sadhu-saṅga, sadhu-saṅga, sarva shastra koi, laba matra sadhu-saṅge, sarva siddhi hoy. And we can see Narad Muni, such a great sadhu. Whoever life he touched, life transformed. Such a touchstone. Narad Muni is such a Rasa Cintamani. Touch the life of Vyasa, touch the life of Valmiki, touch the life of Mrigari, touch the life of Prachina Bhari, touch the life of Manigriv Nalakuver, touch the life of Prahlad, touch the life of Dhruva. Wow! 100% success record. So when we can go to a sadhu, and we have an assembly of sadhus, Vaishnavas who are expert in so many fields and expertise of service, so we can learn from all the Vaishnavas what they're good at, and in this way offer service to Krishna through all our senses. So that's few insights.
Amazing, Prabhu. You explained the importance of sadhu-saṅga from multiple perspectives. Even great devotees, after having performed bhakti for years or decades or centuries, when they finally got the darshan of the Supreme Lord Krishna or Vishnu, they're asking for sadhu-saṅga. They're asking for an opportunity to hear Krishna-kathā in the association of devotees. As Prabhu quoted the example of Dhruva Maharaj. So when Lord Vishnu manifested in front of Dhruva, Dhruva said, Ya nirvritis tanubhritam tavapada padmad dhyanat bhavat janakatha sarvanena vasyat sa brahmani swamahimanyapi nathama bhut kim tvantakasi lulitat patatam vimanat. Oh Krishna, if at all we can attain bliss, it can be attained only in two ways. Tava pada padma dhyanat, by meditating on your lotus feet. Second, bhavajjana katha shravanena vasyat. By hearing Krishna-kathā in the association of bhavajjana, your devotees, sadhus. Next sloka also, bhakti muhu parvatam, whether it is Prachetas or Lord Shiva in Rudra Gita, or Prithu Maharaj in his prayers, or Dhruva Maharaj or Prahalad Maharaj, all of them, even after getting the darshan of the Supreme Lord Krishna, they are aspiring for sadhu-saṅga. Yeah, it is definitely a very important limb of bhakti, aspect of bhakti. But to bring it more to a practical level, philosophically it's important, spiritually it's great, enlivening, but what kind of steps that we can take to maintain our nice relationships and friendships with other sadhus, devotees in general? Would you like to share some tips, Prabhu? What should we prioritize in dealings with other devotees?
I think, Prabhu, you are a better example to answer that question, because Prabhu has been living in the ashram, the brahmachari ashram, from 2007, right? 2009. 2009. So it's been so many years, and in the ashram, Prabhu was mentioning there are 100 brahmacharis, right? About 100?
GV 60.
Yeah.
60.
Right. And you have had darshan of Maharaj and so many sannyasis. We grihastas, grihinam dina chetasam, we have so many other duties, right? So many yes? Yeah? No? Please support me. So we are all so bifurcated with our duties, responsibilities, Prabhu. We have to work, we have to make money, we have to pay bills, mortgage, pay for our car. Look at the ecstasy, yes. We have so many things to do. So therefore, for us, association seems to be rare. And therefore, when we get it also, we don't know how to really take advantage. But you are dipped in that association, and you get so many Vaishnavas, sadhus, sannyasis, brahmacharis. So we want to know how you have been taking advantage of sadhu-saṅga and some do's and don'ts. And actually, after this, I have one last question before we conclude the talk show.
But you also need to comment on this question. Anyways, Prabhu is saying you're a brahmachari living in brahmachari ashram. Brahmachari ashram is the lowest. Above them are grihastas, then vanaprasthas, highest is sannyasis. We are lowest.
Ganga ulti beh rahi hai. Ganga is flowing backwards.
Did I say anything against this Siddhanta? Brahmacharis are the lowest. We are legs. If you want to see the universal form description in the second canto of Bhagavatam, brahmacharis are compared to the feet of the Supreme Lord. We are at the feet, we are above.
But isn't it good to be at the lotus feet?
It's good. It's good. Okay, let me highlight another perspective. Brahmacharis means students, right? Only learning, nothing much more than that. So, like all the children were sitting next to me, right? Boys here, girls here. I'm sitting in the middle in the class, 2 classes. I was being empowered by them to speak Krishna-kathā. So brahmacharis are like kids, like children.
So you agree brahmacharis are empowering?
Huh? The kids are empowering.
You said point number 1, brahmacharis are like children, and you said second, children are empowering. So from A and B, brahmacharis are empowering for the grihastas because they are at the lotus feet of the universal form.
Sannyas is empower. Renunciance. Anyways, Prabhu, let me answer your question. Let me surrender to your will and answer the question. So, as far as relationships and friendships and getting some nourishment from sadhu-saṅga is concerned, brahmachari ashram gives sufficient opportunity. But apart from that nourishment and friendships and relationships, in a brahmachari ashram, after having lived there for at least 17 years, there is sufficient opportunity to crush your false ego. to see your false ego being crushed in 100 different ways by 100 brahmacharis. 100 male egos are there living under one roof. And from different backgrounds, different mannerisms, different priorities, different different working styles, different other backgrounds. But it's a great opportunity for the conditioned soul to get purified of one's false ego at a faster pace. Still there is ego, definitely, at a faster pace when we are dealing with so many other renunciants. But that's like, it seems a bit unpleasant, but the result is very pleasant. We become more humble, we become more detached, we become more mature, we become more thick-skinned, we become more seasoned. So apart from that, Brahmacharya ashram also gives a great facility to sit together and discuss Krishna-kathā. You asked about how to maintain relationships. Actually, I asked the question, but you put it back to me. How to maintain friendships and relationships. One of the foremost ways of maintaining Vaishnava friendships and relationships, not only in the Brahmacharya ashram, whether it is Grihastha ashram or Brahmacharya ashram or Sannyasa ashram or whichever ashram the Vaishnava may belong to, the most effective way of cultivating Vaishnava friendships and relationships is to sit together and discuss Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. In the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, after Atma-rama verse, there's a beautiful verse. It's one of my favorites. For many, Atma-rama verse may be favorite because Mahaprabhu explained it in 61 ways. But after that, Harekrishna Bhagavan Badarayani Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha. So Sutta Goswami says that Harer Guna Akshiptamatihi. Sukadeva Goswami's mind is completely absorbed in Lord Hari's qualities. How? By studying Bhagavatam. Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam. By studying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Sukadeva Goswami's mind is completely immersed in the beautiful descriptions of Krishna's qualities. And what's the result? Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha. He became very dear to other devotees and devotees became very dear to him. What does it mean? Devotees come together when they keep Krishna-kathā in the center. Right? When we deal with other devotees for so many other purposes, our differences of opinion may come into picture. Our egos may come into picture. Our priorities may come into picture. Our preferences may come into picture. Our own perspectives and worldviews will come into picture. But when we keep Krishna-kathā in the center, Bhagavatam in the center, Krishna is in the picture. There is very little possibility of disagreement. So you are doing an activity, this devotee wants to do it in a certain way, another devotee wants to do it in a different way. But when you are discussing a pastime of Bhagavatam, different devotees may relish different perspectives of the pastime, but both agree to each other. The possibility of disagreement and argument is less when you come together and discuss Krishna-kathā. And on top of it, when you start discussing Krishna-kathā with each other, you start appreciating each other for a spiritual reason. When you work with each other, even for Krishna service, your talents will come into focus, your skills will come into focus, your experience will come into focus, your ability and resourcefulness and your managerial capability, all that will come into focus. You are exposed to the talents of the other person. But when you hear another devotee speaking Krishna-kathā, you are exposed to the love and affection and the devotion that the devotee has for Krishna. And when you express your appreciation for Krishna, that other devotee will understand how much you love Krishna. Thus, your appreciation for each other is based on how much you appreciate Krishna. Thus, when we come together and discuss Krishna-kathā, irrespective of our ashrams or varnas, when we come together and discuss Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, our appreciation for each other will increase, our friendships and our relationships will be very cordial, and that pleases Krishna. As you have so beautifully explained the importance of sadhu-saṅga and Vaishnava friendships and relationships, let me just quote one shloka from the 4th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Prachetas performed bhakti for 10,000 years. Then Lord Vishnu came on the back of Garuda, gave them darshan. And what did Vishnu say? Varam vrinidhvam bhadram vo yuyam me nripanandana sauhardena prathak dharma tushtoham sauhridena va. I am very pleased with your loving friendships. Tushto aham sauhrudenava. Your loving friendships, your relationships, your prioritizing sadhu-saṅga and performing bhakti in that sadhu-saṅga really pleased my heart. If you really want to please Krishna, love Vaishnavas. Care for Vaishnavas.
Like how Prabhupada said, you can express your love for me by
cooperating with each other. Correct. So we please Krishna. Like our karmis, you know what they do? They try to come close to each other. They ignore God. Jnanis, you know what they do? They try to go close to God in an impersonal form, of course. They ignore each other. So Jnanis, they have a vertical movement. Karmis, they have a horizontal movement towards each other. But devotees, they come closer. Yes, thank you. Devotees, they come closer to each other while going close to Krishna. Their movement is this. Jnani's movement is this. Karmi's movement is this. Bhakta's movement is this. Thank you. So, Krishna-kathā brings us close to each other. Apart from that, let's be personal with each other. Let's try to inquire about each other's welfare. The Prabhu does it very well. We should learn from him. We should dadati pratigrahnati guhyamakhyati pritchati. When they are doing some mistakes, try to correct lovingly. When they are doing something good, encourage them lovingly. When they are getting a little off track, pull them back on track. When they are going on good track, you follow them, follow the same track. So like that, we need to support each other physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And keep Krishna-kathā in the center. These are some thoughts.
Thank you so much.
One realization or one experience that I can share is, whatever love and affection that I have received from Vaishnavas across the globe so far in my life is because of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam only. There is no other reason. I don't have any other quality. I don't have any other talent. I am not resourceful in any way. I am not so charismatic in any way. I am unqualified and disqualified in 100 different ways. Still, I received so much love and affection from so many Vaishnavas, so many Prabhus, brothers, those are on the fatherly level, mothers, sisters, so many people across the globe, primarily because of my connection to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I attribute all the mercy that I received to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj calls Prabhu the professor of Bhagavatam. So with that, sadly, although we want to go on and on and on, but everything that starts has an end time. So our talk show concludes with beautiful message that His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu gave us to prioritize sadhu-saṅga, studying of Bhagavatam, sensitive, loving, personal relationship with Vaishnavas, hearing and speaking about Krishna, and serving together with affection. So with that, we really want to thank each one of you for being such a wonderful part of Rasa Cintamani. These 3 days have been so wonderful to our hearts. At New Goloka, it's been our fortune to host and serve so many devotees from so many different cities and countries. We really want to thank His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj for giving us We really want to thank Maharaj for giving us such a beautiful temple, such a wonderful community, such a wonderful family, and an environment where we can serve Radha Golokananda, serve the Vaishnavas, and serve many more Vaishnavas. We really want to thank our temple president, Mother Leela Shakti. Mother Leela Shakti is such a wonderful supporting element. She and her whole family, Prabhu and their children, they are all so wonderful. Such a Krishna conscious family, surrendered and lovingly taking care of Radha Golokananda and so many Vaishnavas. So we want to express gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We want to thank all of our wonderful Prabhupada disciples who are our everything in this community. Thank you, Drishta Prabhu. Thank you, Drishta Prabhu. Thank you, Mother Rudrani, for being here. Thank you to Apurva Prabhu, Mother Kamalini. Are they here? They are here. Yes, they are here. We have Jagat Purusha Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. We had Mother Urmila attend the programs as well. So many wonderful Prabhupada disciples here. We have Mother Sadhvi, we have Lochan Prabhu, so many wonderful Vaishnavas. They are our heartbeat, they are our shelter. They are like our fathers to this community. So we want to, whatever Vaishnavas are doing in Rasa Cintamani, we want to offer it to Śrīla Prabhupāda, we want to offer it to Bir Krishna Maharaj and all the seniors of this community. And as I said before, it will all be incomplete if I don't mention the name of my very beloved, His Grace Aditya Narayan Prabhu. Aditya Narayan Prabhu, as you know, doesn't come alone. He's so wonderfully... Aditya Narayan Prabhu is so wonderfully supported by Mataji. Mataji is here. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for all your services. Thank you for... Ratna Radhika Mataji and Aditya Narayan Prabhu have been inspiring so many devotees, and every devotee who has put in their sweat, blood and tears in the planning process, the execution process, the overall wonderful hard work of this whole event. As we conclude, we want to offer our heartfelt gratitude to every devotees, every service, every moment that they have spent, every box that has been picked, every conversation that has been had, every thought that has been exchanged in making Rasa Cintamani as a practical reality. I offer my obeisances to all of them and special prayers to Radha Golokananda to protect and preserve the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual lives of all the wonderful Vaishnavas. Thank you so much. Padita Pavan Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Gaura Premanande. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wasn't that so much fun?
Glorifying you is fun.
Not that part. But just hearing both of you just talk and just that interaction has been so sweet. I was thinking of the point, not only both of them are nourishing us with so sweet Krishna-kathā, so many deep realizations, but also seeing them, as Vaishnavas, their Vaishnava etiquette, their love for each other as Vaishnavas, how they are actually their personification of humility. Both of them are so accomplished, but so humble at heart. So when we ask them questions about humility, we can actually see them as personal examples. And this interaction kind of showed their deep, loving relationship between each other. And we learned so much just by their personal examples. And this conversation actually brought out that mood of seeing them both as personal examples, inspiring examples. So let's give them both a Hari Bol for this.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to express my heartfelt gratitude to Aditya Narayan Prabhu and Leela Shakti Mataji and all the leaders of this North Carolina ISKCON New Goloka community and all the congregation devotees and all the devotees who came from different centers, and my dearest friend Amarendra Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to have your association in the last 3 days, which are definitely some of the most memorable sweet days of this year till we meet again for next Rasa Cintamani. Actually, I am very humbled by the taste that devotees in this country have for Krishna-kathā. 6 hours every day sitting and hearing Krishna-kathā. I mean, it's inconceivable. So I'm very, very grateful to witness such an example of taste for Krishna-kathā. And Aditya Narayan Prabhu was sharing in the afternoon, we never see even a trace of impatience on his face, even for a second. Although he is, don't hide, Prabhu. Although he is, although Prabhu is overseeing such a heavy management, afternoon he was giving acknowledgement to so many devotees. Although he is leading such a big retreat with 600 devotees coming from different parts of the country and some beyond the country also, and he is leading so many volunteers and devotees, but there is no trace of impatience. He is always calm, composed and sober and loving and caring and personal, and not just being like a busy manager, but actually being personal with in his dealings with devotees and caring. I am also very grateful to witness such a wonderful example here. So I thank all of you for that. And as Prabhu has described the importance of sādhu-saṅga, Vaishnava association, Vaishnava friendships, like even I came in contact with him or he came in contact with me because of Bhagavatam only. What I said for myself is true for him also. So we received so much love and affection from so many Vaishnavas because of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It is Bhagavatam that gives us everything to us. And I am very happy that discussion based on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam has been given such a elevated and exalted seat through this Rasa Cintamani retreat. Why 600 devotees came here? Only to discuss Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, no other purpose. So sadhu-saṅga, coming together and discussing Krishna-kathā. That's the only purpose of Rasa Cintamani retreat. So that brings our hearts together, and we have personally experienced it is Bhagavatam that brought us close to so many devotees and so many devotees close to us, whether in his life or my life or many of our lives. So I'm very grateful for this association. I'll conclude. Thank you very much.
Okay, I apologize I wasn't here. I was actually trying to, I hate to say this, I'm not supposed to say this. I was trying to raise funds for the new temple. So you'll have a better festival next year. So if anyone wants to help in that endeavor, they can see Aditya Narayan or myself. Because I just came from Henderson, North Carolina, where we have a lot of members there, particularly hotel owners, hotel patels, motel patels, you know, so anyway, we have this responsibility to build this new temple for all of you. So next year we can have a part of it in the new temple. So and again, welcome to New Goloka. So what do you want me to do?
Bless everyone.
Where's my guitar? If you bring the guitar, we gotta have a kirtan. Why don't we do some questions first about New Goloka? You can ask them questions, ask me questions. What was the format of this particular discussion?
So Maharaj, we just had both Prabhus were actually asking questions and just sharing their realizations with this whole weekend. So Maharaj, one thing that many devotees, we have been, even devotees from out of town have been talking about is the very personal warmth in our community, and all credits goes to you, Maharaj. So I would like to, if you could you'd like to share some points of how we can develop that, mood of cooperation and the loving relationship between Vaishnavas.
Okay. First of all, there's this saying, I don't know where it comes from. Things fall apart where the center does not hold. Anyone's heard that statement before? Anyway. So, what is the center? First of all, we have to identify the center of the Krishna consciousness movement, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Of course, we worship Krishna and Radharani, but so many people worship Krishna, Radharani, Gauranga, Jagannath, and all the other incarnations of Krishna. However, what makes us unique is that we are centered on pleasing who? His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda. Now, as I travel around, and I travel quite a bit, I ask people the question, maybe I should ask everyone here the question, who has read the whole Prabhupada Lilamrita? Raise your hand. Maybe 40%. Okay. So, oh. Hey, what about, they should get garlands too, Okay. So, it's important to understand Prabhupada as a person. We have two things. We have the Vapu and the Vani, right? And Prabhupada was present, left this world 1977. When he left this world in 1977, I became very determined to serve his mission. And as it says in the fourth canto, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, part 4, when it was divided into 4 parts, that when the spiritual master leaves the planet, one should dedicate himself to the mission of the Guru. Otherwise, one should be ready to leave this world with the spiritual master. So, with that in mind, of course, I took sannyas. That was my impetus for sannyas. So, throughout my whole Krishna conscious career, Śrīla Prabhupada has really been front and center with everything. And the reason I'm explaining that is because that really cures any sort of spiritual disease we may have. Let me explain certain spiritual diseases. One disease is the disease, particularly, and I find it affects quite a few devotees, the disease of sectarianism. By sectarianism, it can mean what part of India are you from? I mean, I've been to some temples, and everyone in that temple is from South India. And other temples, everyone is from Bengal. I mean, I have one temple in my GBC zone. I call it New Bengal. It's New Orleans. Anyone here ever been to New Orleans? Anyway, so, I mean, I love the devotees there. And then we also have the guru groups. You know, who's initiated who. But that is not productive to keeping our society together long term. If we want to keep the Krishna conscious society together long term, we have to have a center. And that's Śrīla Prabhupada. Now, why do I pick Śrīla Prabhupada? Not just because I'm his disciple, because he's the one who started the movement, but because he sets an example for us of what pure devotional service is. And his idea, or his manifestation of pure devotional service, is to focus completely on the order of his spiritual master. As you all know, Śrīla Prabhupāda got the instructions from his spiritual master, Śrīla Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he was in his 20s, to preach Krishna consciousness in English, and particularly that indicated the Western world. And so Śrīla Prabhupāda, from that point forward, meditated on the order of his guru. And because he meditated on the order of his guru, he was able to be focused. If we want to be successful in Krishna consciousness, focus is completely essential. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana. So that means 1 point in the determination. Actually, I was just studying some materially successful people. Not that I'm envious of them. Maybe I am. Because I'd like to have $1 trillion to please Krishna. So, what is their secret of success? I mean, should I mention their names? Anyway. So, one, I'm going to make a little play on words here. One was the founder of a particular mobile phone company that was based on the fruit called the peach. Everybody now has a peach phone, right? So, you shouldn't have invited me on the stage. So he was 80% focused and 20% not. And then you have ostensibly the richest man in the world. He's 100% focused. You know, you don't get that way by being splayed out, Vogaishvarya Prasaktanam Taya Pratachetasam Vyavasayatmaka Buddhir Samadhu Navatiyate. You don't get that way by being splayed out. You have to be really mission focused. And our Śrīla Prabhupāda was mission focused because in 11 years, he came to America in 1965, the preaching didn't really start until 66. In 11 years, he was able to accomplish miracles and able to tolerate so much. He was able to tolerate devotees like me, or aspiring devotees like me, but even more so, imagine tolerating heart attacks. I know you've heard the story before, but I just have to mention it. Imagine that. I mean, I can't even tolerate a stomach ache, what to speak of a heart attack, on a boat coming over, and just because of his determination to please his guru. And that's the proof, that's the objective proof of Prabhupada's exalted position. Many people, or other disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, got that instruction. But his whole life, Prabhupada's whole life, was dedicated to fulfilling that order. And because of him, we're here today. I mean, you've heard that before. So it's important to understand him, Prabhupada, as a person. In other words, we can associate with his vapu too. Even though Prabhupada has left the planet, by hearing about his activities, we can understand, associate with him. It'll keep the movement unified, avoid sectarianism, avoid the tendency towards sahajism, avoid the tendency towards smartism. Everybody knows what smartism is? You know, there are different deviations, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, from the pure Vaishnava Siddhanta. He lists a whole bunch, and I'm not going to get into them right now. But all these deviations can be avoided if we understand Prabhupada. And we can be one family. Now, Aditya Prabhu asked me, what did I do here? I didn't do anything. But I do emphasize that we're all one family. There is absolutely, in my mind, there's no distinguishing between who initiated who, or who was initiated by who, because we're all part of Prabhupada's family. And I treat everyone equally. Hare Krishna. And that's it's It's a little thing, I mean, a big thing, little thing. But it's, I guess it's the reason why this community is like that. And really, practically don't even know who my disciples are. Forgive me, Advaita Chandra. No, but I mean, I just see everyone equal. And that's the vision we should cultivate. That equality of vision. And then we're one big happy family under Śrīla Prabhupāda. Really important. So, first step is study Śrīla Prabhupāda's life. Not only Lilamrita, we have so many books about Prabhupada. Bhakti Chura Maharaj published books, Krishna Maharaj published books, Burjan published books. I mean, so many books. Whenever I hear about a new book about Prabhupada coming out, I just gotta get it immediately. I don't care what it takes. And I read it immediately because I really want to connect. And everyone here has a personal relationship with Prabhupada, regardless of who you've been initiated by. So this is New Goloka, hopefully. That's at least my vision. So, anything else? What about these two sadhus? Two sadhus. I'm so fortunate to have these two sadhus. So, especially Amarendra lives here. He lives in New Goloka. Oh my God. It's like having a valuable diamond. And we're happy that Gauranga Darshan's visiting. The first time you visited, or? Third time, okay. And anyway, we're just so grateful to have their association and all of your association in this great movement of Śrīla Prabhupāda's. Okay. So, what happens now? Kirtan. Uh-oh. Do we have a good drum player around? Very good drum. Okay. I guess so. Why don't you ask them a question or two while I tune this thing? Tune it? Is that all right? And then we can, is there room for dancing here? Okay. So, ask them a question.
Any questions for Gauranga Darshan Prabhu? Two questions for Gauranga Darshan Prabhu.
So my question is that, even when we are in devotee association, we are in devotee association, that is spiritual. But when we are coming into that spiritual plane with devotees, we are coming, so we just came from the material pool, right? So we're trying to get on the plane. So when we're with the devotees, we sometimes, at least I, feels like some material pride, and with pride comes insecurity. So how to deal with that?
My God. Such a deep, profound question from a child. Okay. Now, for example, you have made this garland. Radhika, right? So, for example, you have made this garland. People are appreciating you. Such a beautiful garland Radhika has made. Amazing. But can you take, then you become proud that people are appreciating you. That's your problem, right? At this moment. You're humbly admitting that. Many people who are proud, now they don't admit that they are proud. Right? Because of their pride. But humble people admit that they are proud. They're becoming humble. So when people are appreciating you for making this garland, please understand the credit does not belong to you. Garland is beautiful. You have made it, no doubt. But the flowers themselves are beautiful, isn't it? Have you made the flowers? Have you made the thread? Did you create the needle? Did you induce fragrance into this flower? So fragrance into this flower came from earth. And where did earth get that fragrance? Punyo gandha prithivyam cha. Krishna gave that fragrance quality to earth. So ultimately, credit for this beauty of this garland goes to the gardener, Mother Earth, Krishna, whoever has made this thread, whoever has made the needle, whoever has trained you in making garland. When you start sharing the credit to all these people, how much is left? 1%? 2%? You'll not be proud.
But like,
you'll just be grateful for an opportunity to make it. And you thank those devotees. Thank you so much for giving me this service. I am grateful to you. I am not proud. When you start acknowledging the participation or contribution of so many devotees for your success, you will not become proud. You will be humbled by that success. You will become grateful for that success. Okay? Even in devotees association. Hari Hari.
What's that? Oh. No, let's have another question. One more question. Why don't you sit down?
Harekrishna Prabhu.
I want to stand up.
Prabhu, my question is from the katha which you gave. I was like connecting your katha to His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's katha. You mentioned one of the qualities, negative qualities Indra had, uddandata, right? Meaning, uddandata meaning, as you explained, that all the attention should come to me. And I was connecting it to Prabhu's katha, that when gopas are encircling Krishna and they are eating food from Krishna's hands, they had this desire that Krishna should see each one of us. And they are feeling that Krishna is sitting in the center, but he is seeing each one of the gopas. So Indra's insecurity or uddandata is material, but gopas having this feeling that Krishna should be looking at us, just us. It's of course not uddandata, but how do we understand this? Getting Krishna's attention is not.
So did everyone hear the question at the back? Was the question clear? Okay. No? Okay, so the question is about uddandata, which means acting in a way by which the spotlight is on us. We should not, from the story of Indra, we see that we should not act in a way by which the focus is on us. But then the question is from Brahma Vimohan Leela, but the boys, they want Krishna to see them. So what is the difference, is the question? Or how do we transition from one to the other?
The question is...
like in a nutshell, that would be the question. So how do we develop that greed?
Yes. How do we develop that greed and getting Krishna's attention or getting the attention of devotees? Is it like, of course it's not uddandata, getting the attention of Krishna. How do we understand this, like Krishna's this?
I think the boys, more than wanting Krishna to see them, they are very happy to have the opportunity to see Krishna. And by that selflessness, Krishna naturally sees them. It's not self-centric desire that Krishna should leave everything and see them, but they want to sit in a place by which they can comfortably see Krishna. Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, don't try to see God, but try to act in such a way that God wants to see us. So if we try to be sincere, then Krishna wants to see us, and by that, we make spiritual advancement. Is that okay? So it's not so much to seek the attention, but sthane sthita shruti gatan tanuvag manobhi. Wherever we are, we want to sincerely serve, and that by that Krishna casts his merciful glance on us. Is that okay? Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj.